Hey everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video we're going to be talking about some theories for the upcoming episode 611, Revelator. So I think the major thing from the trailers that we all want to talk about, the thing that's on everyone's mind, it's whatever Cat Noir's doing, basically. I think we've all worked out by now it's to do with his Cataclysm, as it looks like the same black-coloured bubbling energy we see in his hand when he uses it, but it's just bigger and it's above his head this time. I have seen people saying, oh my god, it's Cat Blanc, he's going to absolutely lose it, but I don't actually think it's that. I think it's going to be fine. It looks like a power-up to me. I think he's got complete control over it. I don't think he's losing it like in Cat Blanc. Now, firstly though, before what it is, why does this power-up occur? The plot of this episode is that Marinette is being targeted by Vincent in his cyberbullying campaign, and as we saw in Derision, Adrien doesn't really take very nicely to other people being horribilised about his girlfriend, which, you know, normal reaction to have. And he'd dislike it even more since I'm 99% sure that Vincent is going to be making up lies about Marinette. None of this is going to be true. So as we saw in Derision, he pretty much went to Cataclysm Kim in the face when that came out about what had happened to her in the past by Kim and Chloe, and Adrien and Marinette have only grown closer since then. Yes, they were dating in Derision, but they've been together a lot longer by this episode, so I think the power-up could occur because he wants to do more to protect people, including Marinette, which was similar to Ladybug in Mr. Pigeon 72, which is when she got her power-up back in Season 4. So that's the why, but what is the power-up exactly? And I think this one's a bit harder to answer. I've seen a few of you suggest he's unlocking the power to destroy things without having to touch them, and while I think that'd be really cool, I think it would make every single fight super easy, because he could just destroy the Akuma object without having to touch it. So I think that would be a bit too OP considering, you know, the structure of the show. Like, they just work out the Akuma object, he looks at it, done. Yeah, I mean, like, nothing would be a challenge. So I really don't think they're going to do that unless they're going to pull a risk for the rest of the show and hide the Akuma object away from the physical person of the Akuma victim. I've seen other people say it's the ability to destroy electrical networks, but I'm pretty sure Cat Noir can already do that. So I think the most logical explanations right now is that the Cataclysm can repair damage, either physical damage like a Miraculous Ladybug or other kinds of damage. By other kinds of damage, I mean damage to Marinette's reputation. Something like that is really hard to fix, and a Miraculous Ladybug can't fix that. So perhaps the Cataclysm power-up could reverse it. Or failing that, the Cataclysm power-up is basically a Miraculous Ladybug, where Cat Noir is able to reverse all the damage done. I know we already have Ladybug for that, don't get me wrong, but for example in Representation she wasn't around to do that, so maybe this Cataclysm power-up gets rid of all the damage, and I think it could be quite useful as it puts him in a more even footing with her, and I also think Ladybug and Cat Noir could be breaking apart as a team further on in the season, but that's for a different video. Another possibility is that I think Cat Noir would be concentrating on destroying the place where the rest of the heroes have been kept without harming them and ending up freeing them, so the Cataclysm power-up is more precise and doesn't hurt people. So now let's move on to Vincent and why he's doing this to Marinette, although I want to make it clear before I get into it that there is absolutely no justification for anyone to be cyberbullied, especially not an adult bullying a child. So I'm not trying to justify why he's doing it, it's absolutely not okay, but I'm sure there is a reason and hasn't just decided to do it because he thought it would be fun. Unless he's now some kind of internet troll, I guess that's also an explanation too. But I'm absolutely not justifying it. There may be a reason, and I think there will be a reason, but I do not think whatever that reason will be, even if it's not this one, I do not think that reason makes him doing this to her okay, because it absolutely is not. As we know from Pixelator, Vincent is some kind of photographer slash super Jagged Stone fan, and he does have a bit of an unhealthy obsession with Jagged Stone, and it possibly seems that he may be one of Adrien's fans, as Adrien does seem to be involved in this given the graffiti on the bakery, and he may be annoyed that Adrien has stopped modelling and he thinks it's due to Marinette. Now, we all know it's not Marinette's fault, as we saw in Risk and at the start of Season 5. Marinette was always encouraging Adrien to stand up to his father and tell him he wanted to stop modelling. It's not Marinette's fault, we all know that, but I don't necessarily think the truth matters, because I think Vincent is being manipulated by Lyla. As we've seen with some of the episodes of Season 6 so far, some of the Akumas have been Marinette's fault, whether she really meant to upset those people or not. For example, in The Illustrator, Marinette ignores Maya, and that's one of the reasons she's akumatized, and in Daddy Cop, Roger is akumatized because Marinette is rude to Sabrina. Lyla does seem to be working really hard to try and pin a lot of these Akumas, or just bad events in general, on Marinette to try and turn people against her. If you remember from the end of Recreation, Lyla's like, I can't wait to see you again, Marinette du Pencheng. I theorised at the time it was either because she knew she was Ladybug, but it doesn't seem like she knows, because she probably would have just, done what she did in the London special, break into a house and steal the earrings, because that's what I would have done too. Or the other reason is that she was just still mad at Marinette because of what happened at the end of season 5, Lyla getting exposed, and now she is using the Butterfly Miraculous to not only get the Ladybug and Cat Noir Miraculous for the wish for whatever random thing it is that she wants now, but also to get back at Marinette for basically destroying her life. Marinette had a hand in destroying Lyla's life out of many double lives. I don't know how many triple lives, quadruple lives, I don't know. She destroyed the life she had as her persona Lyla at DuPont, so now she's trying to destroy Marinette's life in turn. So whilst, again, don't get me wrong, Vincent absolutely is not justified in bullying a child, and he should know better as an adult. I'm not sure how old he is, but I would definitely say over the age of 20, so he absolutely should know better. Of course it isn't okay. I also do think Lyla could be manipulating him to further hurt Marinette. And speaking of people being manipulated, I also want to talk about the cinema guy, don't know the name. While he seems horrible, there's also this person from The Illustrator. So it's right from the end where Lila's having her weird psychopath monologue. We all assumed it was Lyla, and I still think it could be. But their outfit is pretty similar to the cinema guys. Jeans, black t-shirt, red shirt. However, I am not 100% confident they are the same person. The figure we see at the end of The Illustrator is wearing a silver bracelet on one of their wrists, and Cinema Guy is not. Of course, he could have just taken it off, but I really don't know. I just thought it was really interesting to point out, since it seems Lyla has people all over the city watching Marinette, like we saw in Sublimation. The final thing I wanted to talk about was the orb from the trailer. Everyone seems to be running for it, it's obviously very important, and given the name of the episode, Revelator, I think if Vincent shoots you, he either sends you into this limbo with the other heroes, or it reveals your secrets, hence the episode title. So perhaps Ladybug gets hit, and her secret goes into this orb, and her secret, of course, is about Gaby Baby being Monarch Daddy and the wish being made, which she doesn't want anyone to know about, or anyone else, since a few people do know, like Natalie and Kagami. However, Rena Rouge manages to grab it, and she sees what happened, as we can see the universe here, like we see during the wish in Recreation. Now there is part in the trailer where we see Rena Rouge glaring at someone, and I do think the trailer is purposely misleading, because the next shot we see is of Ladybug like gasping or whatever, so I do think it is purposely misleading. I don't necessarily think it means for definite Rena is glaring at Ladybug, but I do definitely think it's interesting. So I don't really know what Ali's reaction will be to this. I think she may be frustrated Marinette kept it from her, but also at the same time understand why Marinette did that as well, since it's such a huge secret and could upset not just Adrian but like literally everybody in the city. So I'm not sure what Ali's reaction will be to it, if indeed Ali does find out what happened in Recreation in this episode. So there you go, besties, that's what I think so far. Global will be airing Revelator in Portuguese at 7:45 PM local time on Friday. I'd love to know what you think of this, little besties, and I will see you in the next one.